Hi, I'm Ashley from Sunny Made, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on what you should do before you start your next quilt. Hello friends, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Today I wanted to make it short and sweet. I'm going to give you 3 tips plus a bonus tip on what you should do before you start your next quilt. So let's jump in. Okay, you have decided what you want to make. Super exciting to start a new project. You gather all your materials and you are ready to go. First, rotary cutter. Change out that blade. You should be changing this out between every quilt that you are making. So between cutting your fabric, squaring up your pieces, and squaring up more pieces, and doing a final trim all the way around, your blade is going to get dull. So make sure you switch that out. These are not very expensive. Just do it. I promise it'll save you a headache. 3 other ways that you know that you need to change out your blade. If it's missing pieces as you're cutting, so if part of it doesn't cut all the way through, that means you probably have a chip in your blade and you need to get a new blade. Second, if you have to push really hard in order for it to cut all the way through the fabric, that's another one. Okay, I actually had a lady come to the store today or this week, and she asked me about that, and I'm like, sounds like you need a new blade. And they're like, oh, how often do we switch it out? Between every quilt. Third, if it gets really ratty and raggly on the end, that means your blade is dull and you need to get a new blade. Other than that, rule of thumb, do it between each quilt. Second, okay, you have your quilt picked out. You know what you're going to do. You decide what thread you're going to use. Okay, go ahead and fill up bobbins. I have about 10 of these, 10 to 15, and I just go through and I fill up probably 10 of them before I start the quilt. It is so annoying to get in the middle of a pass, in the middle of a seam, and you run out of bobbin, and then you have to take it all apart and unthread your machine just to get a new bobbin round. So go ahead, fill up 5, fill up 10, I don't know how many you think you might need, fill them up so they're all ready to go, and you can complete your whole quilt without having to rewind bobbin. Okay, third, clean your machine. I am not very good at doing this. I probably do it about every 3 quilts. Take your bobbin out, clean out in the bobbin. Take off those screws where the bobbin plate is. Take the plate off, clean down in the bottom of your screws, down into your machine, and up in the machine where the motor is. Depending on the thread you're using, some of them get very linty. I bought some cones of thread from, I don't even know at this point. I am still using them. It's not great quality thread. It gets all in my machine, but I'm not going to just throw it away. So I'm going to continue to use it. I'm going to clean out my machine because the lint gets down in the bottom and gets up at the top. Also, if you find that you're having a hard time feeding your fabric through your sewing machine, that means your feed dogs are all gunked up and it's time to clean your machine. So pull that plate off, clean where the feed dogs are. Those are very important. Mine gets really compacted in there. And that's why I say I'm not very good about this, but I'm trying to do harder and seeing the signs when it's time to get it done. So clean your machine out between every quilt. That way it doesn't ever get gunked up and you don't have to stop in the middle of making a quilt, which, like having to rewind bobbin, just kind of sucks if you have to stop in the middle and clean your machine. Okay, If you like these tips and you like my videos, I just ask that you like and subscribe. If you subscribe, that means that you will get the next video. If you like them, that also means that more people will see my videos, and I really appreciate that you guys stick around and support me. Okay, our bonus tip. Iron that fabric. I swear, it is so much easier to work with when you have nice, fat, flat fabric. Okay, think about these fat quarter bundles that have been sitting around folded for who knows how long. Get those out, iron them out. If they've been on a bolt, you will get seams sometimes in a bolt, depending on how the shops carry the bolt. Sometimes when you get to the inner part where it's next to the cardboard, it gets all crinkly and it's really awful. I know a lot of quilters like to use starch. Starch makes it nice and flat. It won't stretch on you or any of those things while you're cutting. For even a better tip, use starch, but make sure you iron your fabric before you start cutting. Okay, any questions? Anything else you can think of? I would love to know what you do before you start to get a start on your next quilt. Leave them down in the comments section. Find me on Instagram, Ashley_SunnyMade. There is a link down in the description box. I hope you have a great week and happy sewing.